Hey everyone, it's Anenzo, and are you a beginner creator looking for simple but effective ways to improve your level? Well, you're in luck because I'm going to teach you 5 things and tricks that you can use to improve your levels. Okay, so here I have some basic gameplay that I made with some background pulses, and I'm going to show you what I call a masking pulse. And basically, you can take these blocks, something kind of like this, and then you want to make sure it covers your whole screen. So once you have something that looks like this, you want to add it to a group and then turn on do not fade and do not enter. And then you want to change the color to blending and keep it white. And then once you've done that, you want to add a move trigger and then lock the player X for however long the part is. I'm just going to set it to 100. And you want it to be invisible for the time being. So yeah. Now once you do that, you want it to pulse with the background. So you're going to set it to group 2. Or to set the opacity like 60 or so. And then the fade time like 1 second. Actually, maybe a little lower. And now, pulses are a little bit more interesting. Okay, so here I've made a pretty basic background, but I think I want it to be a little bit more interesting. So you have your simple background, and you can add what's called a parallax effect. And you can do this by copying it. I'm going to move it to a different layer. I'm going to set it to a different group. And then I'm just going to scale it down. And I'm also going to copy and paste this. So once you have that, you want to set it behind the previous background. And my default background speed is 1000 on the X and then move time 30, but you want the layer behind to be moving faster than it. So I'm going to set it to 20 and then set the opacity lower than the one in front, and then you can see kind of a parallax effect. If I make that a little bit brighter, it might be a bit easier to see. And now your background's a little bit more interesting. Okay, so here I've added some movement, but they don't really feel smooth, and I can teach you how to fix that. So there are a bunch of different easings that you can use, and my favorite are exponential, bounce, back, and ease. We're going to start off with exponential out, and usually the longer the duration the move time is, the smoother it is. You kind of just want to do that with all your triggers. I'm going to say move time of like 1.75. And then you kind of want to move your triggers to happen sooner. And now, it should feel a bit smoother. And this can also apply for bounce out as well. Now if you want the structures to move back, I typically use ease in. And this can look like something like this. Or you can use back in, it'll kind of look something like this. And then you can kind of experiment with different easings and durations, and hopefully it'll be a lot smoother. I'm going to be breaking down this next one into 2 separate parts, glow effects and glow overlays. With glow effects, I typically make mine involving glow lines, and I do that by making a line, and then I make it copy color of the background, blending. And then once you have that, you want to take just like, now you want to take this and just like move it up a notch. So it kind of looks something like this. Alright, after that you want to set it to your dominant group and then your singular group. And then the dominant group will be controlling it, locking to player X. And then your singular group will be in charge of moving it. So now I'm gonna move it like 30, and then exponential out, and then you want to add an alpha trigger and make it fade out. Now what you want to do is repeat this step of copy, add it to the next group, and then once you have enough, you can do this. So once you completed that, you should have something that'll look like this. I forgot an important step. You'll want to turn do not fade, do not enter. I bet. Okay, now you should have something like this. You can even do the same with the top, and then these triggers move them down, and then it should look something like this. You can also make a glow effect for portals by doing the same kind of line idea, but just a little different. You want to set it to your dominant group, and then select one side, add a group, select the other side, add another group. You kind of want to align it with the portal. And the dominant group will control its opacity, and then the other two groups will control its movement. We want it to appear, and then fade. And for movements, I'm going to make this one move that way with exponential out. And the other one,
move the opposite direction.
you can use build helper to set it to a new set of groups. And after you've done that, it should look something like this. You can also make one for orbs, and I like to do the same kind of concept as before, but a little different. Now once you have this, you want to move it in line with the orb. Just set it to a group, and then you want to set the orb to a different group. And now, you kind of want to do this with the alpha triggers to make it appear then disappear, and then with a rotate trigger, the orb is going to be your center for this rotate. I'm going to set it to 30 degrees, exponential out, and now it should kind of look a little something like this. I'm actually going to change this to 20 because that was a little bit too much rotation, and then I'm going to move this one, move the opposite direction. Yeah, kind of like this, and that's something you can also add. And next are glow overlays, which are glow structures that kind of go over everything. And because I'm too lazy to make them myself, Devilmind has provided a level called Assets, and in this level are gradients. Devilmind has said that these are completely free to use, so I'll be adding them to custom object. And then once you have that, just want to copy. Once you have that, you want to set it to background blending. Let's see this. Yeah, turn the brightness down a bit because that's way too saturated. Right now you should kind of have something that looks like this. You want to take that, T3, do not fade, do not enter. Now once you have that, and something you can do is I like to add like 20 hue or 30, kind of depends. Now you want the bottom one to be negative of what you had previously. Now once you have that, you want to make sure it's centered. Then you want to add it to a group and lock to player X. And it should look something like this. And another thing you can do with these, same kind of concept, but a little different. Add it to your group, T3. And also, do not fade, do not enter. And then you want to kind of play test this until you can get it to match up with the corner of your screen. Should look something like this. And then finally, we have a rather simple one, which is shake intensity, where you use a shake trigger to add more intensity to your part. I want to say like maybe strength of like 1 or 1.5. I want the duration to be 0.20 or 0.30. I usually do 0.20. Now, it's a little bit more intense. Well, that's all I got for this video. If you found it helpful, let me know down in the comments below and give it a like. Feel free to subscribe so you can know when I upload more content like this. And yeah, bye.